everybody,
No.
and welcome to Mary Elizabeth Jones's Variety Hour.
Yes.
Yes,
We haven't done it in a while.
I know we've been totally busy lately,
Busy,
so
busy. In fact,
yes,
if you were to see us, my name is Kaye Lazar, and I'm Mary Elizabeth's help.
yes,
But if you were to see us in any form, it would be live. We're not. We haven't been on TV in a while, so on
right,
television land.
yeah,
It's like a V is growing out of my head. Looks like I have antlers here, but I can't do much about it.
yeah,
We'll change it
yeah,
at the intermission.
yeah.
But anyway, and also we are in. Do you know this place?
It is called Fort Clifton State Park.
Fort Clifton, named after Clifton Webb, the famous actor.
Yes.
Named after my favorite actor, Clifton Eastwood. No, and its main claim to fame is right over there behind us. I don't know if you can see it. It's the world's biggest anthill. Right over there. Yeah, it's right in the path there.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like you could almost say it's almost gone condo.
Yeah.
It's so huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And heard a funny joke about ants the other day. Some woman said on Jeopardy that she had 140 pets. He said, and then the host of it, the compere, his name is Ken Jennings. He says, I used to have 140 pets. I owned an ant farm. Funny joke. You don't usually think of really smart people being funny.
Yeah.
I mean, really smart people. I always feel that you can't be too smart to be funny. But then
Yeah.
I realized that to be funny is to be smart.
Right. Right.
I always think that sometimes the kids that come up with the quips at school are the smart kids. In fact, the teachers always send notes to the parents. Oh, he's a very brilliant child. He should only apply himself and not be so funny and try to make jokes all the time and try
Yeah.
to get laughs from
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah.
But I heard a comedian once say this that almost everything you do that gets you in trouble at school is exactly what makes you a
Right.
great comedian. I
Right.
mean, notes home to your mother. That's the same thing as bucking the trend and not going against the grain. But getting approval from your he all the classes behind him when he's making these jokes. Yes, that's get laughter from the audience. I mean everything, and then of course, and then don't apply himself. Well, of course, don't apply himself. You want jokes. I remember once when I was in school, we had to do an oral report
Right.
and I think how it worked was all three of us dressed in costume, and I actually said to they dressed like it was like colonial dress, you know, with
Yeah.
the tricorn hat
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
stockings and everything,
Yeah.
and I no, I tell you what it was. It was the Canterbury Tales.
Yes.
So we're all wearing, you
Yes.
know, not all that different, but we were dressed in like medieval costumes, and one guy was I think the miller, and the other guy was the wife of the husband of the wife of Bath,
Right.
and who else was in the
Right.
Canterbury Tales? So anyway, and I was the third guy, and then I said, I need you know, and to make this flow, I need some background of what you're going to say. So I said,
Yeah.
oh yeah, here are my notes. So I knew what
Right.
they were going to say. So
Right.
then when I got up there, it was just basically I was interrupting them at every moment to
Right.
make a joke. Well, they got like I think B's, and I got a
Right.
C. And the
Oh
reason why I
wow.
got a C was the teacher said, "Oh, Kevin did his best to disrupt everything. He was very funny, but he did. But you want to know something? I spoke to one of those guys not that long ago, and he still remembers that from so many years
Wow.
ago as
Wow.
being one of the funniest things he's ever gone through.
Wow.
And you know, he got a good grade. I didn't.
Yeah.
I still went to college. I still made something of myself. I'm still wearing a
Yeah.
tuxedo.
Right. Right.
Why am I
Yeah.
wearing a tuxedo in
I
the middle of the
know.
day? Why are you dressed as a pirate in the middle
Yeah.
of the day?
Yeah. Why? Why? Why?
Why you would? Yeah, that's the question I want to
Yeah.
ask. Why are you wearing a pirate costume?
Well, because we did a show earlier today.
Yes,
It was called Peter Pan and Wendy,
Peter Pan and Wendy. Yes,
and I
and
played two
you
parts.
were Wendy.
Yeah.
You were Peter
Well,
Pan.
I played the maid,
You played the
and
maid,
then I played a pirate.
and you played a pirate.
So I
Right.
played two parts.
Yes, you played a dual role
Yeah.
like Richard Pryor or Peter Sellers or something.
Yeah, and you did too.
Yeah, I played two parts. So in fact, I was a pirate too, but I'm not wearing
Yeah.
my pirate costume.
Yeah.
This is actually the costume I wear at the end of the play. We just finished the play, and
Yeah.
we're going to do it again
Yeah.
again this weekend. But by
Yeah.
the time you read this, might be all gone.
Yeah.
But it was a new version of Peter Pan,
Mhm.
and it was and you know Peter Pan. It's
Right.
not all that different, except I think in this one, Wendy grows up
Oh yeah, yeah.
as a bittersweet ending that she's grown up, but Peter Pan is still there. And spoiler alert, I think Peter Pan takes Wendy's like 10-year-old kid off at the end of the play after Wendy had the adventure. And let me tell you something. That's what type of mother would let their parent would let Peter what type of parent would let their kid run off with Peter Pan?
Right. I know.
Those teenage boys.
Yeah.
In fact, now that I think about it, Peter Pan is a metaphor
Right.
for teenage boys who just want to have fun.
Right.
You know, it comes a time when you have to grow up and everything.
Yeah.
Mm. I should
But
have been playing Peter Pan, but usually it's played by a girl.
yeah. Yeah.
So I played because of my advanced age.
Yeah.
I can't play Peter Pan anymore. I can't play the Lost Boys anymore. I might be the Lost geriatric. No, I play Mister. I play Doctor, not Doctor, Captain Hook,
Yeah.
Sylvia's mother, Wendy's mother. Anyway, I played Mister Darling, Wendy's father.
Father. Yeah.
And I'm on my way to a dinner party with my wife in the show. Now what's kind of weird is that if the plot of it is my scenes are a lot of them are at the beginning, and what happens is my scenes are kind of wild. You play the maid, and you're in the same scenes I'm in.
Yeah.
And what happens is it's really funny is that I have to we have to go to a dinner party for the boss, and thus we leave the kids alone. Wendy's taking care of them, and then Peter Pan comes in and whisks them off away. Now, what's kind of weird is after the parents realize Peter Pan has taken their kids to Neverland or Never Neverland when I was a kid, what I was called.
Yeah.
What was weird about that was they still go to the dinner party. What type of parents are these? Oh, good.
Ah,
Good. Now
I know.
let those kids be Peter Pan's problem
That's
now.
right. That's right.
But
Yeah.
they're like swords and you know,
Yeah.
Peter Pan is kind of a dark story, you know, when you think about it. And they've actually made a lot of revisionist versions of Peter Pan, like Hook with Robin Williams, and in that version,
Well, that's
Peter
a good
Pan, yeah,
version.
he grows up. He's an adult man,
Yeah.
and the Hook is still a problem.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman plays him.
Yeah.
It's also I remember Tinkerbell was Julia
Julia
Roberts.
Roberts was playing
Yeah,
Peter
but I
Bell
don't
that
think she was
time.
much good as.
Yeah.
They should have got. I don't know. They
I
should have got
don't think she
someone.
had a very big part in that one.
No, no. In fact, I heard she was going through a bad time. I think that was the last film she made for a long
I
time, for
think
like
she
about
married
2 or 3 years.
I think she married Lyle Lovett at that time. I think.
Yeah, that would put you over. Poor Lyle. No,
Yeah.
but then she came back and she and won an Oscar, I think, for some movies,
Yeah.
for Aaron Brockovich and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that also has a
Yeah.
happy ending. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to take a couple of years off,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. So I'm dressed up. That's why I'm in a tuxedo in the middle of the day
Yeah.
because we just got off the playing Peter Wendy, our good friend Tracy Frame wrote this
Yes.
new version. Oh, it's really funny. Tracy herself has a small part as a pirate. She has no dialogue when she comes on, and she was actually sort of also a director from behind the scenes. She says,
Yeah.
"Now everyone go on. Wait a minute, we don't go off yet." And she wrote the thing. Unless she's decided to
Yeah.
make it so.
Yeah.
But that was our and it's all the way in Colonial Heights.
I
God.
know.
So if you want to hitch a ride
Yeah.
on a freight train to get over here,
Thumb a ride.
thumb a ride,
Thumb a ride.
thumb a
Thumb.
ride,
Yeah.
thumb a ride.
Yeah.
Have you ever hitchhiked?
No, I haven't.
I've never hitchhiked either. Well, and what's weird is in certain countries
Actually,
and certain parts of town, parts of America, you could hitchhike. Go ahead.
once I actually tried to, but my grandfather kind of, you know,
He's,
my
he's a,
grandfather would let me
he
do
wouldn't let
that
you. How
because
old were you?
I was like in like my 20s, I think, early 20s, maybe.
Where were you going?
I was going to my dance class.
I gotta go to my dance class.
Yeah, because I didn't know if he was going to take me. So I just walked out my house, just walked. I was getting ready to walk to go there.
I would think a pretty girl would have no problem like you getting a ride. But let me tell you something. I some kid when I was 5, the kid was 6.
Hmm.
He was watching a TV show or movie where someone just, you know, I didn't know what hitchhiking was. And he
Yeah.
says, all we have to do is stick out our thumb like this. Like it happened one night with Clark Gable,
Yeah.
Claudette Colbert.
Yeah.
And he said, you just have to stick out your tongue and somebody will stop and give you a ride.
Hmm.
Don't you want to go somewhere? I said, yeah. And then what happened was we stood on the corner near my house
Yeah.
and just stuck our thumbs out and people would drive by. Some people would just go, hey, like we were like giving them a thumbs up or something. It must have been like a half hour. Just
Hmm.
cars went by.
Yeah.
Not a lot of cars. This is like in a neighborhood. So,
Right.
it's not in the middle of the day. So not,
Right.
and we're not even in school at this point.
Right.
And then a car stopped and he said, get in. And my friend got in. And that's when I just all froze up. I said, I don't want to go in. I never thought, I kind of assumed that we would never get anyone to stop for us.
Yeah.
And then someone stopped for us. So then when he went off, I thought maybe I'd never see him again. Even you're, 5 years old, you think
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Actually, it's actually
Right.
that could happen.
Right.
And then maybe a half hour later, I see the kid and I said, "How are you?" His name is Randall.
Hmm.
I said, Randall, how you doing? What happened? He goes, oh, he just drove me home. That's all
Oh.
he did.
Okay.
And I think he may have knew the guy. So I said, oh, if you know the guy, that's different. I got
That
the idea he was just a stranger.
that was a sign of relief though,
Yeah, but I still didn't get in the
because you
car.
never know people like that sometimes.
Might be a weirdo.
Yeah.
I was so actually that was the only time I was ever really concerned,
Right.
and I was really little. After that, I was very brazen and everything. I just wanted to go places. I remember wanting to go somewhere so bad that I remember wanting to go to a baseball game, and we lived all the way like 50 miles away from where the baseball game was, and I thought we would go to the baseball game, and because we were in near the Parker Field at the time.
Yeah.
I must have been like 9 years old because I
Hmm.
loved baseball at that time.
Yeah.
And then what happened was, I said, "Oh, listen, I don't need anyone to take me. I could get my own ride there." He goes, how are you going to get there? I said, well, a taxi will take me. Well, I think they said there's no buses to go. So I said, well, then a taxi will take me. And then they said, my parents said, that'll cost you like $50 just one way to get there. Even those days, it was a lot of money. And I said, $50 in my piggy bank.
Yeah.
I think I saved maybe close to that. And but then I didn't have any exit plan to get back home.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then probably after spending all the money, wouldn't have money for a ticket, which in those days was about $5 or so. But but I kind of learned something from that time, and that is I always want to go places.
Mhm.
I get upset when I miss things,
Mm.
and I try to go places as much as possible. I like, I hate being at a disadvantage. And I remember not having a car for many years, and I was very good with the bus lines. I tried to figure out any way to get anywhere, walking everywhere, walking maybe 3 to 5 miles to a bus stop just to get on a bus and then go. Now, where I live, there's a bus stop not that far from where I live, but I was telling somebody this. You can get on a bus, all right, and the bus can take you downtown, all right? And then you go at a transfer and take another bus to the airport or to the train station or to the bus station. And then then you get on that conveyance and then you go to like somewhere like New York or Washington or something.
Mhm.
And then you get to an airport and the airport will take you almost anywhere in the world. And that's when
Oh.
I realized, gosh, all this is available to me if I'm rich enough to pay for it. And it's actually a lot cheaper than I think than actually having to drive these places.
Right.
So that's why I've never not gone anywhere if I wanted to go somewhere. It's never held me back. I always found a way to get anywhere. If someone could give me a ride, if someone didn't give me a ride, I'll walk there. I'll do everything. Yeah. So so I that's what so I've so yeah, so I always
Yeah.
try to get places. And when I was in
Right.
was it high school? Maybe not high. Yeah, it was in high school.
Uh-huh.
I would find a way to get. So I would even take the school bus. I love going to the movies and going downtown
Wow.
at things. And there was a lot of great, more so than now. There were department stores, a lot going on downtown. A lot of
Mhm.
movie theaters, everything. And I would, the college is there, Virginia Commonwealth University, and there's a lot going on in these places. So I would take the school bus.
Oh, school
I
bus.
thought the school bus here, our taxes are paying, not my taxes, 'cause
Mm.
I'm just a 14-year-old,
Right.
but a
Right.
60-year-old. But tax says I'm going to get on. Then I heard they actually clamped down after I left
Yeah.
because they unless you were supposed to be on that school bus, you can't just
Yeah.
go on it.
Yeah.
But I thought to myself, well, I don't think the bus driver cares. I sit in the back.
Yeah.
I'll sit out. Usually the kids knew me, and usually usually
Yeah.
kids liked me in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so I would go almost anywhere. I never ate out until that time, and I would eat at fast food places, and developed a taste for it until it started making me sick,
Mm.
and all that salty food, all that fatty food.
Mm.
Yeah, so I said, forget about it.
Mhm.
So then I took a bag lunch and ate it on the school bus. And then my mother worked at a hospital that was on the bus line. And then after I had my fun, I would try to get to the hospital when she had the shift. She always worked, till 12 o'clock, and I would get on. She would drive me home,
Mm.
and so that was time to see my mom because sometimes
Yeah.
I kind of missed my mom when I was a kid because she was working.
Yeah.
A lot of kids miss their parents when they're working. I don't even remember ever seeing my dad until I was 8 years old. He was always at work. He was just this guy that comes in for dinner and spends the night. My mom, when you're a kid, your mom's always up for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
When I have a bunch of
It was
sisters,
it
and
was
when
it was kind of like that with my dad.
yeah,
Sometimes I hardly ever saw my dad when I was
yeah,
growing up. All he did was just come home and eat. And,
yeah, yeah,
so we would like go out to eat occasionally, with my mom and my
yeah,
dad, but
yeah,
mostly my dad mostly worked all the time, and
yeah.
he
They
was
work.
he was like never home. So
You got to. I got to tell you something. You got to. I heard this about parents and how they run the family.
yeah,
A lot of people say, "Well, I have to put food on the table. I have to get the kids shoes on their feet and everything. So I have to work all the time." But then your kids will miss you.
mm,
They might not miss both parents, but they'll miss. Usually one parent always has to be there,
yeah,
and usually in those days it was the mother. But the
right,
father, they said that a lot of fathers weren't really into kids so much. So what happened was, and this is wild. They said that a lot of kids, sadly, not me, but a lot of kids I knew would get into have mental problems, would have drug problems, drinking, even in the rates,
mm,
drinking problems,
right,
delinquency, that type
right,
of thing. And every psychiatrist and therapist says the same thing. You work all the time. He goes, I don't care how much money you're making, because the extra money you're making, you're going to be spending on therapy for those kids and the insane asylum and the and fines for sending them to reform school and all this stuff
right, right,
if you don't if you,
yeah,
if you don't stay at home and try to have an interest in your kids. I
yeah,
think now you see a lot of delinquency though, but uh but you know what I noticed, the kids in the theater are always very, if the kids have something to do, because I get along. I get along. You and I should go to the high schools and lecture the kids on how to
yeah,
behave.
definitely, yeah. No more bullying, anti-bullying. That's what I would like.
Well, that would be great. Yeah,
Do a testimony
yeah,
about.
yeah. I remember when I was a kid, we would have got people come and tell us, don't take drugs and
Oh yeah,
don't be a juvenile delinquent and
yeah.
everything.
We used to have dare programs when
Yeah.
I was in fifth grade and all that. So
Well, you know what I found out though?
what?
I only found this out years later that those people who used to come to lecture us,
Uh-huh.
that was they were sent there as part of their community service. They had already screwed up, and they were part of and they were they were
Yeah,
they were there. They weren't there out of the goodness of some may have been, and then it probably did them a world of good to talk to kids and tell
yeah.
kids to stay on the straight and narrow. But let me tell you, I I, I, the joke one of my favorite jokes, I tell this all the time, is that when I applied for a job last week, they were very impressed with my community service, but I didn't have the heart to tell them that it was court ordered with threat of part of my probation. Also, you know what else I've been doing? I've been up to.
What?
Reason I was like in no shape to appear
Mm,
on your show last week, and the
mm.
reason why was because I was running in a race.
Oh
The
yeah.
first time in 2 years
Oh
I was running in a
yeah.
race.
Yeah.
It was the Monument 10K,
Oh yeah.
and
And you haven't done that in 2 years, right?
in 2 years, they it's become this great party now that and they give you a medal when it's over.
Mm-hmm.
So I have all these medals,
Mm-hmm.
and if you've done it 10 times, you're
Mm-hmm.
part of the 100K club. 10K, of course.
Wow.
10K is about 6 miles, I think 6.4 miles,
Mm-hmm.
or 6.2 miles, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you something, it is the hardest hour of my year. It's
Mm-hmm.
after the first mile, you just want to
And
give it
you
up.
were sore.
Well, everyone's sore. You walk like the penguin for the next couple of days because
Mm.
I'm not really used to running. I'm not a runner. I'm a swimmer,
Yeah.
and I do I stay in shape, but and I was in shape for it. It's just
Yeah.
it wasn't until maybe the day before it that I realized, oh, I better get my legs in shape. So I went on the treadmill for like, oh, probably 30, 40 seconds. No, about probably 10 minutes, and it's, oh man. The whole thing should only take an hour if I'm doing it right. Now, what
Yeah.
happened was, uh, I, because I haven't done it in 2 years, so I was kind of stiff. So I ran as much as I could, and then I walked a little, and then would run and pick up some speed and all. And I made it in about an hour and 19 minutes and 40 seconds,
All right.
which is all right. It's 20 minutes more than I'm used to running.
Yeah.
That same thing, but I wasn't in shape. Also, I'm a little older, and let me tell you something. I had to race. You see my age on the internet. I had to race with the older people
Right.
just to get a better score.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm telling people. So
Yeah.
anyway, I was running, and that's how I got to get through that. So anyway, but I noticed that when I was running, everyone's passing you, and you just get so upset.
Mm.
There's that this time there was like 17,000 people there, and when they're running, uh, uh, I was looking at the people passing me, and they were all younger than me. I didn't see too many gray-haired people passing me.
Yeah.
So that's really surprising. You see people in costumes and on all fours like a dog or something. They're
Yeah.
dressed as a horse or a two-headed horse or something. And then I say, oh, how are they in front of me? I can't even run with a t-shirt and short pants. It's the only time in the year that I'm in public wearing short pants. That and playing tennis.
Yeah.
Usually you're not photographed playing tennis, but who cares if you're playing tennis? But if you're running in a race, they're constantly taking pictures of you,
Yeah.
and you want to get look your best when you get the medal and everything. You
Yeah.
pose for a photo for that. So anyway, I was running, and I always joke it's the longest hour of my year. Or in this
Wow.
case, hour and
Nice.
20 minutes. I checked out friends of mine that were in the race. Some of them younger than me, and they didn't do as well as I did. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there, if you're racing against your friends, I did fine. So
Yeah.
and what happened was when I was about 20 years ago, or actually more like 12 years ago because I've done it 12 times. I was looking around and at people my age, and I said, I think I could beat most men my age in a foot race. And yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then it was like maybe a month before the 10K,
Right.
and they said that, and my friend said, who's never put on a pair of sneakers in his life. He actually says, "Well, Kevin, if you're
Mm-hmm.
if you want to put that to the test, why don't you run in that race that's coming up in a couple of weeks?" And I
Uh-huh.
said, I will. And
Yeah.
then, and then I entered the race, and and the first mile was just treacherous, but then I, got, then I finished the
Right.
race, and I've done
Right.
it ever since.
Right.
I said, yeah, I was bragging that I could beat most men my age in a foot race. Guess what?
What?
It's a lot easier to brag about it than it is actually to run it.
Uh-huh.
So, but I did, but it's a very lonely thing. The the loneliness of the long distance runner is
Mm-hmm.
the famous movie, same play. I think John Osborne wrote it or somebody, and they made a movie. And I remember that it is a lonely job because you're running, and if you have anyone with you, unless they're running faster than you, and you could try to catch up with them, you're not going to
Yeah.
do, but if you have someone that's going to hold you back, you're not going to do as well a
Yeah.
score. So one year, and don't think this hasn't ticked off a lot of people. My nephew got into running, and but he was a little boy. He was only like 12 years old, and I'm at that point probably in my 40s, and
Right.
said that uh, um, Jack, Jack's his name, said Jack would like to run with you at the race, and I said, well, I'll meet him at the finish line. Is that your way of getting? I said, listen, I want to run. I'm not there to have a good time. I'm there to test myself,
Yeah.
to put myself to the test. It's good to put
Yeah.
yourself to the test.
Yeah.
See what you're capable of
Yeah.
doing. So I met him at the finish line. Yeah,
Yeah.
he actually did quite well for the
Yeah.
12-year-old.
Yeah.
He's actually now he's grown up, and he's a very
He's
good runner.
like 19 or
Yeah, he's a good
something.
runner now. Yeah, and but I don't think he raced in the last race.
Yeah.
But in fact, I was the only one in my family to race. Somebody said, "Were all your friends racing?" And I said, "Sadly, none of my friends race." I kind of look. It's all for charity. It's for the Massey Center for breast cancer,
Yeah.
women's cancer or something. Yeah, and then which is a good thing. It's all for charity, and then you have fun.
Yeah.
It's a big party. There's bands everywhere. There's music everywhere.
I like to do it one year.
Yeah, you'd like to do it? Well,
Yeah.
I'll meet you at the finish line.
So how long is it? Like an hour or so? You
Well, it's
said.
not an hour so much as long as you could run it, and
Yeah.
it takes me an hour. Some people, those people from the Olympians,
Yeah.
they're finished in about less than a half hour, like 25 minutes.
Wow.
But I mean, those people actually travel from race to race, and
Yeah.
the winner gets like $1,000 or $5,000. It doesn't matter what
Wow.
they make because they're going to win it, and
Yeah.
that's their job. They
Yeah.
run it with the expectation they're going to win it, so that it's like a job when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you travel, and it's probably not a whole lot of money
Yeah.
because you have to pay for a hotel,
Yeah.
and you're only then you have to stay in shape and everything.
Oh yeah.
You can't most of the time you can't really stay in shape on a plane or on a long car ride. In
Yeah. Yeah.
fact, I don't know about most people. Some people are happy just sitting and doing nothing, but I'm one of those people that if I'm in a long car ride or bus ride, I can't wait to get out and run around
Right.
the terminal for
Right.
a couple of times and then
Right.
go back in and say, okay, I did my exercise.
Right.
I've
Right.
taken 2 train trips to and back to the West Coast and California,
Mhm.
and almost every stop, you're just sitting the whole time. So every time I got out, and this was before the internet, and that was a long time ago,
Yeah.
1990.
Yeah.
It was 89 and 90. How about that?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the world is like traveling with the internet. I know it's easier to like to book hotels now,
Yeah.
but what's weird is when you have the internet,
Yeah.
you have to book. When you have the internet, everyone has the same at their disposal
Right.
where the cheap hotels are,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
the Airbnb, that type of
Right.
thing. You know where the
Right.
cheaper ones
Yeah.
are and everything.
Hmm.
And so that's what I've been up to. I've been in the race
Oh yeah.
and I've been in the play.
Yeah.
And I think last time we did this, I just had a birthday. So
Yeah.
so
And I'm getting ready to have a birthday in a couple more
yeah,
weeks.
there you go.
The 28th of
So
May.
we'll have a birthday extravaganza.
I want to celebrate my birthday the whole weekend.
There we go. Oh, it's on what day of the week does it fall on?
It's on the last week of the month.
I mean, do you know what day it is?
It's the 28th of May.
I mean, do you know what the day of the week is?
I think it's on a Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
A good day for a party.
Yeah, it's either Friday or Saturday. We could do like the whole weekend if you want to.
We could do a 24-hour live stream from midnight to the next. All right, it's not your
Yeah.
birthday anymore. Let's pack it up. No, and also yeah, and yes, so that well, yeah, we'll have fun.
Yeah.
We'll invite all your friends. I'll invite all my friends, both of them.
We could go out to dinner or something.
Yeah, we'll go to we'll go well, what's the old joke? Roddy, there you go. Vinny's black and blue room. Tough plays. They get a broken leg of lamb. Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
thanks. This is not the end. We have we've only gone halfway through.
We're actually getting ready to take a little break for a little bit.
Okay.
And then we will be right back. And may God bless you.